April 15th, 2013. Crowds lined the streets of Boston, cheering on the runners as they crossed the finish line of the Boston Marathon. Excitement and celebration filled the air. Boom! 2 bombs exploded, shattering the moment. In the aftermath, investigators uncovered missed warning signs, backpacks left unattended, individuals behaving strangely, and prior intelligence reports that weren't fully acted on. The clues were there, but they were overlooked, a critical lapse of situational intelligence. Now imagine you're walking down the street, lost in your thoughts, maybe even scrolling through your phone, when suddenly you feel it. It's the prickle at the back of your neck, the tightening of your stomach. You glance up and you notice someone too close, their eyes scanning for an opportunity. Your instinct screams at you, move, create space, maybe even cross the street. That moment of action, that's your superpower at work. Criminals can tell when someone isn't paying attention. In 1981, researchers conducted a study where they filmed everyday people just walking along the sidewalk in Times Square. They then took that footage and they showed it to violent prisoners. They asked them, choose your potential victim. They were shocked at the response because these prisoners didn't choose based off age, size, gender. No, their selections were based on nonverbal cues. Those who appeared distracted, hesitant, were chosen time and again, while the ones who walked with confidence and awareness, they were largely ignored. This tells us something critical. Your body language, your awareness, and your ability to interpret the environment around you can drastically affect your safety. As a federal air marshal, I had to be a master at situational intelligence. I spent years flying millions of miles undercover, navigating airports and other high-risk environments, all to protect national security. I had to detect a threat before it materialized. I had to be able to read people and my environments quickly, act decisively. But this skill, it's not one that's just for the security professional. No, it's a life skill that we all have. It is your ability to stay one step ahead of danger. It's not about paranoia. It's about perception. And today, I'm going to help you discover how to do that. Going back to that 1981 study, we know criminals, they don't choose their victims at random. When you carry yourself with confidence, when you have your head up and your eyes up, you're sending out a subconscious message. I see what's happening around me. I'm not an easy target. Because criminals prefer easy prey, not people who act and anticipate before an attack. A friend of mine, Sarah, she shared an experience, and it stayed with me. She was leaving her job one night, going to her vehicle in a parking garage. Parking garages, we've all been there. Your footsteps echo. There's shadows in the corner. Never enough lighting. Well, as Sarah was walking to her car, she noticed a van. And she paused. She looked around. Something didn't feel right because this van, it was still running. One of the doors was slightly open. Sarah made a decision to go back inside and have security escort her out. Well, later on, she learned a vehicle matching the description of that van had been used in abduction attempts. That one moment of hesitation, of trusting her instincts, it may have saved Sarah's life. Now, situational intelligence, it's not about not being in dangerous situations. No, it's about noticing those suitable shifts in your environment so you can avoid them before they even start. One way to think about this is most of you have probably heard of situational awareness. Being aware of what's around you, knowing the exits, spotting the backpack that's unattended, recognizing a van that just feels out of place. But situational intelligence takes it further. It's understanding, analyzing, and acting upon those observations. Think of it this way. You're driving down the highway when suddenly brake lights appear. As all good wives do, I alert my husband. There's been a change in our environment. Now, if you only see those brake lights and you do nothing else, you're aware, but are you necessarily prepared? When you see those brake lights, you slow down. You check your mirrors. You look for an escape route before traffic comes to a grinding halt. Awareness allows us to see the warning signs, but intelligence allows us to interpret what we saw and act upon it. This doesn't just affect dangerous and crime prevention. No, it's something that's going to change your mindset. It shifts you from living in a reactive mindset to a proactive one. And this is going to show up for you everywhere. At work, it may look like noticing your colleagues, shifting body tone, and then being able to adjust your approach before tension escalates. As a mom, I use it all the time to notice early warning signs of frustration in my kids, to avoid those tantrums, or when they were toddlers, the toy aisles at the holidays. When you're traveling, it allows you to feel the crowd shifting energy. And in social settings, you're reading the group dynamic, anticipating the conflict, and also recognizing when someone may need a little extra support. Situational intelligence is not just about life or death. It's about the everyday decisions you make, the ones that affect your day, your relationship, and yes, even your peace of mind. So how do we unlock this skill? There's 3 powerful questions that you need to ask yourself, whether you're traveling, going to the office, or simply grabbing a coffee. Number 1, what's normal here? You just walked into your favorite coffee shop. You know the usual rhythm, the smell of the fresh coffee, the baristas making the drinks, the chatter of the other customers. But today something feels off. There's a guy. He's not scanning the menu. No, he's scanning the room. And that's your first clue. In order to recognize what is abnormal, you have to know what normal is. So when you walk into a place, take 5 seconds and ask yourself, what's normal here? Number 2, what are the vulnerabilities? In that same coffee shop, where are the exits? Are there any blind spots? Is someone studying the bags on the table a little too closely? When you recognize what the vulnerabilities are, you're able to better position yourself and make better choices. So what are the vulnerabilities? And number 3, what's my plan? If that guy in the corner and that laptop case on the table, if that situation suddenly goes sideways, what are you going to do? Having a plan in place before allows you to react with calm instead of panic. Your body won't go where your mind hasn't been. The more often you ask yourself these 3 questions, the sharper your instinct will become until it's just second nature. Situational intelligence is so much more than a safety skill. It's a life skill. And when you embrace it, you will live intentionally, not fearfully. Remembering that 1981 study, criminals don't select their victims at random. They're reading people. The ones who had awareness, largely ignored. Those who walked hesitant, unaware, chosen almost every time. That wasn't just research. It was a wake-up call. What story are you sending as you walk down the sidewalk? Situational intelligence allows you to control that narrative. It shifts you from being a passive observer to an active participant in your own safety and your own success. It is your superpower. So the next time you walk into a room, ask yourself those 3 questions. What's normal here? What are the vulnerabilities? And what's my plan? Because when you do, you won't just survive. You will thrive. Use situational intelligence. Be empowered, and always be safe.